All right. Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. I want to start off by saying I had a moment last night, just scrolling through Facebook and saw this picture, and it just instantly spoke to me from all the research that I've done. You don't need to know how to read Egyptian wall scriptures the way that I've been observing. It's all very self-explanatory and basically symbolism. Symbolism is everything. Research that. Everything I'm about to say, I want you to research for yourself and conclude your own opinions, but by all means, please do some research. Things we are not going to go deep into. I could talk for days without stopping. So things we are not going to delve into that you can research yourself are things like mythology. Golden numbers, huge. A great series to watch on Gaia is Structure of Space and Time. Absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. We're not going to go into the heart and head importance. The heart functions and has the same mechanisms as the head, and it's actually more important. That's something you can really delve into, something really great to focus on, to do some research to get the gist, and then you can delve into deeper research is something with missing links. Quantum theory, waves and frequency are everything along with geometry. We're not going to delve into religion as deep, into anything, because this is all religions are based off of the same concepts. Ascension and the concepts of being risen. We're not going to go into that concept of the physical versus spiritual. There's so much research on this. It's a beautiful subject to be awoken to. Astrology, again, with waves, frequency, and geometry, huge. It encompasses all religions and all of our landmarks. Everything is so perfectly mathematically aligned as far as our ancient structures, astronomy. The mathematics are so precise, it's unfathomable that it would be a coincidence when you look at everything and all of them. We're not going to delve into the concepts of the Anunnaki, but really key thing to start researching. All right. These are the things we're gonna keep this as simple as possible because the main idea is the most important here. All right, so this is one of the goddesses, and her name is Nut. So she is here to protect the earth. If you read into this whole mythology, it goes very much deep into a story. She's protecting the earth from the sky. Now, we're going to go ahead and start off with the concept that there were two Anunnaki brothers or gods. They needed to mine for gold. Hence, we have this undescribable feeling of this love for gold. It's because it's in our blood, our ancestors. So they needed gold, and there's mines in Africa that predate human history. So obviously, they didn't want to mine for gold themselves. So they created a being to do it for them, to enslave us. So they created mitochondrial Adam and Eve that can be traced back. It is not something of Darwin's theory. It happened abruptly. It happened automatically. The difference that happened was that our second chromosome, we had two. They split apart. We got rid of the stuff we didn't need, and they came together as one, and we have modern man. So, sorry, I'm out of breath. I ran upstairs to record this. I'm so excited to do this and to share. There's so much more I want to share, but I'm not ready yet. But this needs to be heard now. And I feel like this is a sign that I'm supposed to do this, so I'm going to. So the brothers are the gods. They create man, and men worshipped them. They were their god. They worked for the gods, they mined gold for the gods. Time goes on, and you have to understand that all of a sudden the brother was feeling a little bit, we should be freed. The other brother did not want that. Good versus evil, yin and yang. This is also the representation of the two horses here. Horse is a huge symbolism, and the white horse especially. Now notice that the white horse, silver and gold, sun and moon, yin and yang, is smaller. Even standing on the foot of the god is a little bit shorter than the other. And this is interesting. We'll get to that later. Real quick, these are 7 dots, the chakra representation. This is a representation of the sun. The story of this mythology is that at night the sun resides within her and impregnates her, and in the morning she gives birth to a new day and a new sun or whatnot. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and I'm getting sidetracked. And there's a lot of interesting things about the chakra at the bottom, traveling up as well. So here we are mining for gold for our gods. Now notice this symbolism of what appears to be a snake. The snake, the brother transformed himself to communicate to Eve. Now he chose Eve because the men are very, very much worshiping their gods, and they're very stuck in their ways. And he knew he could get through to Eve, if anything. So he presented Eve an offer. I want to free you guys. But the man won't listen, so I want to give you this information. I'm going to give you a choice, an option to eat from the tree of life. With this, you will gain knowledge and freedom to do what you want for yourselves. I will give you the knowledge of agriculture, farming, and all this fun stuff. And there is evidence of where our first farm was, and the fact that the wheat was like crossbred, something that could not have happened without intervention before predated times, of course. So the story happens. Now we're going to jump over to Egyptian times. Here we go. This is Osiris, and notice there's 3 women around him. Now symbolic, because during this time women were the hierarchy. They were the ones who kind of were the queens and controlled everything. Time goes on, and all of a sudden there's 3 men, 1 woman, and then 4 men. So this is interesting. Now keep in mind, I'm not going into the golden numbers and all the mathematicals. Now at the end here, she says stop. You need to do it again, or it didn't work, start over. So we're going to go ahead and go back here. Here we come again. Now we're going to start off with this era with what appears to be, now first of all, Osiris seems to be holding something. I feel like it's something to do with the staff. There's a lot of symbolism in staffs and snakes. It represents our health. If you look at any symbolisms of a health organization, it's a staff with snakes wrapped around it, because the snake is not a bad serpent. It's here to heal us, to give us freedom, to give us health. So we come up here, and I feel like this is going to be maybe like a leader of religion, okay? Jesus. Now these are very interesting. I cannot make out with the clarity of my picture. I need to find a better copy, but what I see and what I see represented from what I've learned, it looks like they might be men with no heads, which could be representation of the spiritual body, the knowledge they had and that they were teaching. They were teaching the world about the higher spiritual world and how to get there, what it meant, this, that, the other. Some people didn't like that. which is why, the burning of the Library of Alexandria, all of our knowledge of our history was ripped from us because they didn't want us to know about it. Now, before we got to that point, there's a crucial point here. Notice that these two people are holding hands. No one else is holding hands, but they are blatantly holding hands, and this person is waving goodbye to them. These people are going to go carry on their spiritual teachings. Now, there's always going to be bad apples and everything. So I feel like this is representation of the bad apples is what I get from it. So they go on and notice they're all men with one woman. Stop. Do it again. So we're going to come back over here, and here are the horses. Notice the white horse is brighter. Notice the white horse is also taller, even flat-footed on the ground, unlike down here. It seems to be like she's risen a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and focus on these boats real quick. These boats are interesting because the tail end of it looks like the symbol for Sagittarius. Now, this symbol right here for the next era seems to look to me roughly like the symbol of Pisces, with a sun and a moon. In this boat, these blatantly have people in it. This boat doesn't. And it's coming from the animals, and I'm kind of assuming that that's kind of representation. This sharp edge corner right here, I feel like represents something that I can't find on the internet. I feel like that might be on purpose, and I cannot, I've seen it resourced several times from South America, from the indigenous people with their rock carvings of the two paths and the three battles. And once I find it, I'll make a video on it because it's really crucial and key to what's happening right now. But it's all very beautiful if you take a step back and look at the bigger picture. So all of a sudden, look at what we have here. We have 5 men, no women. They're bigger. They have these big, heavy staffs because they hold the knowledge they were trying to teach everybody. They kept it to themselves. They burned all the resources. They wanted to keep it for themselves. They have, you could read, my little personal touch is that it's like the size of their balls. They had the balls to literally take over the world with their power of knowledge and keep it from us. There's this weird swiggle here, and the way I see it is that it's almost like a representation of the goodness of the snake that has become dead and shriveled, because this is not work of love. It's all about love, our heart, not our brain. They work intertwined. Follow your heart, play with your brain is my new philosophy. So they are walking along, taking control of the world. Now, look at the symbolism over here. Amazing. She has opened up the timeline for the possibility to exit. She said no down here. She said, you have, yes, up here. Okay, here's the all-seeing eye. If you pay attention to absolutely anything, it's symbolized everywhere through our hierarchy, elites, cabal, whatever you want to call it. But what it really represents is our third eye, our pineal gland, hugely important and key to basically everything. So now, usually when you see a depiction of the eye, it is not closed and squinting like this. And I feel as though it's because the eye is looking at them saying, you know my secrets, but you're not doing right by them. Now, another thing, this gives me goosebumps. If you've done any research on Pizzagate, this symbolism is the symbolism for little boys, I believe. I just threw this video together because I want to get the word out so bad. I really would prefer I had I had pictures that I wanted to show, but it's not going to work with the camera. 3:30 in the morning, so forgive me. Notice the decoration on the inside of the eye that you always see depicted. It looks in the picture like it's pointing at them like and it's squinting, unhappy. What happens? Well, look at this. They just cease to exist. This is my representation and my depiction of the fact that the people that run the world today, that do bad upon us, who have chosen to enslave us, just like the gods did. It's in their blood. They want to do it again. They want to be they want to be the gods. That's not okay. That's not okay. So they cease. They go down. They are not over here. Now what happens over here? We have the boat of Sagittarius riding along the water of Pisces to get to a better place. Now, what's lovely here, there's 5 people in the boat here. Right in front of the boat is a very obvious to me ladder looking appearance. Now, very symbolic because you can choose, just like the tree of life and knowledge, you can either choose to climb up and ascend back to the universe, back to the stars, or you can choose to descend, which does not, in my opinion, depict a hell. There is no burning flame of anywhere you're going to go. The hell that is depicted is you need to be reincarnated and you need to live life again because you haven't learned enough lessons. Again, representation of that person has an old soul. Well, you don't have an old soul yet. You need to go down, learn some more, try again. You notice the boat over here has only 4 people. I think it's part of representation of this. At the end, you do have a door which appears to have the locust or the lotus or the papyrus, which is what the Egyptians used for literally just about everything. Paper, this, that, the other. Very important symbol here. And what happens here? The last chakra is waiting for them, and they get to ascend out back into the universe. She opened the door, and you could either choose to do good, choose to ascend, descend, redo it, whatever the case may be. But see, it looks like they don't have a choice to ascend, doesn't it? Which I think is interesting. These do. But they're going to go away. That's what I see. And that's what I've been saying. If anyone follows me, which no one comments, but I like to rant and rave, and I do have a lot to say. I think that's, for the most part, everything that I have here. The eagle, I think I mentioned that, for the Bank of Egypt and for, all over America, or, a bird-like structure. And the bird concept in general is an Anunnaki reference as well. The Birdman and whatnot. I think that's all I really have to say. Again, you have to do the research yourself. I have a lot of man-made books behind me that I'm not ready to share because it's a work in progress and I want it to be a certain way. But this, I cannot wait. This happened to me last night or this morning as a sign to share with people. I researched on the internet. I could not find any reference of explanation for this. All the research I've done on Egypt and the documentaries, this is an important calendar event here, and yet it would have been on one of those shows. It just would have been. So I think this is absolutely amazing. I have many questions as well. Why is it purely white right here? I think there's symbolism there. There's symbolism absolutely everywhere. That's the whole point. And I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I really honestly have a million things I could say, but I feel like anyone who is struggling right now, I don't want people to feel scared. People are feeling scared. I want to let you know that there's an element of hope, and I've been saying this so long. You can choose to do good or do bad. You will either descend or you will ascend. You have a choice, and the world's not going to end. It's been here so long. It's not going to go anywhere. Life cycles do happen, and we're at the end of the great life cycle that is a part of 5, actually possibly 6 smaller life cycles to the great one. And we are at the end of the great cycle. So when I show you the other video on the other carving in South America, there's 3 major events that have to happen before the end of this, before the end of a small cycle. 3 stone circles. There's only 2 depicted, depicting World War I and World War II, but the 3rd one's missing because it hadn't happened yet. And I think they should draw that circle in. I think it's time to carve that circle into the stone for our future descendants. But this is the time of change, and the next era coming after this moment of chaos is the golden age. And you have a choice. You can choose to go to the golden age or do it again and have whatever repercussions happen through this. But everything's gonna be okay. All you have to do is love and lead with your heart. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope this gave you guys a different perspective and a little bit of peace of mind through all the chaos right now. And I really hope that it helps guide you to help educate yourself on all these subjects that are amazing, because it's who we are, it's who we have been, who we are today, and who we will become. And to not be interested in this subject is, I think, crazy. So maybe, I always say I'm crazy, maybe I'm the sane one after all. Anyways, I'm really nervous, so forgive me. Maybe I'll get a little more comfortable. But again, I'm not really ready, but I feel like it's important that I do record another video on the other one, so that you can see the comparisons, the out of place artifacts you want to research. You want to research all the things that all the ancient ruins have when they shouldn't have been communicating around the world. They all have the same symbols, the same stories, the same gods. You want to research the whole pine cone, reference to the pineal gland, the golden numbers for everything. Just, again, I said I wasn't going to go off, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Thank you for listening.